Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, the original plan was to do some autocross stuff with this car, but this thing ended up breaking, and then the white MR2, I'm still waiting on some parts there. So I figured right now is a good chance to kind of give you guys a big garage update on everything. First, we'll start talking about the V6 MR2 and what broke.
I know it's a little dark, so just kind of bear with me. Right here is the transmission mount, and the weld's actually starting to crack.
That will continue to worsen over time, so that's something I'm gonna have to get welded back up, and it should be pretty easy. The second thing actually has to do with the front end of the car. I'm not exactly sure what, but on the way back home from that last event, the front end started shaking a lot. I was thinking maybe something came loose. In terms of suspension stuff and the steering components, nothing's bent, nothing came loose. Maybe the wheel, like a wheel weight just fell off, so the wheel became unbalanced, and that's really what I'm hoping for and is most likely. And then there's just my second thought that maybe the wheel's bent a little bit with the autocross stuff. It's pretty aggressive driving, but these wheels, they're more designed just for someone who wants like a good looking aesthetic design and not necessarily motorsports like I'm doing with this car. We're gonna head off to the garage right now, and we'll talk about the white MR2. We are at the garage, and we'll start off by talking about the white MR2. And to be frank, the whole situation with this car has been very frustrating, and I'm not talking about the damage. So like taking aside the crappy job I did of like rolling the fender, so like before that, I already knew at the minimum I was going to have to replace or repair the driver's side fender here, this headlight cover, the bumper, the hood hinges, and then actually the door hinges. So going into it, that's what I knew I was gonna have to replace, and everything's actually come out really well. Obviously under here, it's way less damage than I anticipated. There's just a few things that I kind of had to straighten out. The only thing that was damaged that I didn't think was going to be damaged, but in hindsight, it's not really a surprise. That is actually the hood. So I already replaced the hood hinges. The hood is actually damaged right here, which again, shouldn't be a surprise because when this car got hit, this actually got pushed up that way. And so that naturally bent the hood along with the hood hinges. But the big thing is, check this out. So I'm going to pop the hood. Okay, hit the switch, hood is popped. Before, I used to actually have to push the hood that way, and then I would bring my hand under, pop it open. But now, there we go. I don't have to do that. Overall, it's really not bad. The only thing, again, I'll have to buy in addition to some of those other things is just the hood. So I'm actually okay with that. I still have to repair the bumper. I actually have this test fitted on as I was trying to line these things up the best I could. As I mentioned, I have been a little frustrated, so now we'll kind of go over what's frustrating me. And it really just comes down to getting parts. So if you didn't watch the video or anything like that, I did buy some vented fenders from MR2 Heaven for this car. They didn't fit well, even though they're described as direct replacement with only minor drilling needed. As for a refund, and I was told that I would get a prepaid shipping label. Well, after a month, I hadn't gotten my money back or the prepaid shipping label. So I ended up going to my credit card company to file the dispute. And then what do you know? Literally, I filed it on a Tuesday evening right after work. So it's like, let's just say 5 o'clock. The next day by about 1 o'clock, I actually had the prepaid shipping label, and then I dropped it off right after work. I did my best to try to work with them, but that just didn't work out. And like, I don't want to get screwed because that was $825. That's quite a bit of money. Anyways, I did end up buying another set of fenders for this car, and I paid for them literally over a month ago at this point. They were supposed to be shipped within a few days. Right now I'm at the point where I pretty much gave an ultimatum, send the stuff or, you know, I want my money back. I actually used my credit card, so I have options for recourse there. Point is, that's really what's frustrating me right now, that what's holding this car up is just parts, people just not being punctual or keeping to their words. The plan with the car right now is that if I don't get anything in the next week or two, I'm just gonna throw it back together. And I'll be honest, I didn't really want to do that because I'm embarrassed of the crappy job I did of rolling the fenders, but I really want to get this car out to events and get some seat time in it because the suspension setup on this is totally different to the V6 MR2. Just a quick little side note though, I don't plan on doing any track days with it. I don't think this car would hold up. I do think it would do totally fine at an autocross event though. The engine swap for the white MR2 I think could come as early as January 2023. Right now I put a few $100s aside every month. The big reason why I'm not moving forward with the engine swap just yet is kind of twofold. So I'm hoping to buy a house at the end of the year. I really don't want to be in the middle of an engine swap and then literally have to move everything. The second reason for it is houses are going up like crazy in value right now. And obviously every month I'm putting money aside for, you know, my house fund as well. But if it came down to it and I was short, let's just say the, you know, few $1,000s that I have put aside for this engine swap, if I do need to, yeah, I'll pick the house over the engine swap any day. We're going to talk about the Miata right now. Jesus isn't here. He's actually at home. He had a week-long vacation, so he's enjoying himself. But the Miata is actually still here, and we had a bit of a scare with this car. About a couple days ago, actually, I got a couple messages asking, hey, like, what's up with the Miata? Is that thing like wrecked? And I was like, what are you talking about? There is a M Edition Miata that runs around the area that I live in that happens to look just like Isuzu's car. I can tell you guys though, it is not wrecked. This thing is sitting right here. She just works, easily the most reliable car we have right now. Only thing left to do is still the valve cover. We've been saying that for ages, but we're eventually going to get to that. And then the whole AC condenser, how that's bent. The Miata just works. That thing's sticking around. Right here is the BMW. We were supposed to have someone come look at this today. They ended up bailing. The last car I want to talk about is actually the WRX. It's not here since Isuzu's at home right now. That car is actually Isuzu's car now. Pretty much, he just needs a good, reliable daily. So I just told him, you know what, just go ahead, have it. I actually had to push it on him. He really wasn't sure because he wanted a wagon. I told him essentially, like, look, it's a good, reliable daily. Just take it down the road. You can sell it, pick up something you like more. I know he really wants a Skyline. He's in a better financial position right now. So him having the WRX as a daily, that is actually going to allow him to potentially buy a Skyline. He's been looking, pretty much his criteria right now is that it has to be stateside, somewhere in the Pacific Northwest so we can look at it in person, and it has to be an R32. Prefers like a GTS, GTST. He doesn't really want a GTR. He wants rear-wheel drive for the fun factor. It's not worth converting a GTR to rear-wheel drive. That just doesn't make sense with the cost of them. We probably won't end up doing a rallycross event with the WRX, and that's totally okay. With rallycross, we actually can cause damage to Isuzu's WRX, and I don't want that since it's going to be his daily. It's not like autocross where the chances of actually messing something up are, you know, really low compared to rallycross. I mean, sometimes they happen in freaking fields. So yeah, that's the last thing I want to do. And more than anything, I really want to see him in a Skyline again because, you know, my passion for MR2s is exactly how he feels about Skyline. So anything that, you know, I can do to help him get there, that's what I'd like to do. That is all we got for today's video. And just a quick little plug, if anyone happens to have any parts, so specifically a hood, shoot me a message on Instagram. I always leave that in my channel description. In terms of other parts, I think I'm actually pretty good right now because this is going to get repaired. I already have the new cover for here. The new hinges are on. Oh, if anyone has door hinges, I will need door hinges for the driver's side. I think that's pretty much it in terms of the body stuff, and hopefully the fenders work out that I ordered. If not, I'm going to be very, very angry, but that's, I guess, a story for a different time. And also, if any of you guys happen to see any R32 Skylines for sale in the Pacific Northwest, again, you know, shoot me a message on Instagram and I'll let Jesus know. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.